Show us, what is the hardware that's involved with marrying an instrument to a computer?
Okay, so we start with the keyboard. This is a MIDI keyboard. That's the musical instrument digital interface.
Okay, so that's a way of hooking up an instrument to a computer.
Correct.
Okay.
So from the keyboard, there's these two MIDI cables here.
Okay, those just come right out the back?
Coming right out of the back.
Okay.
They go into this little box here, which is a MIDI interface.
This is like a breakout box here.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I know Windows computers that have sound cards have a MIDI interface. That's the joystick port.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to a Mac here. Is this just USB to the Mac?
This is USB.
Okay.
So this connects to the Mac on the USB port, and then in the software, then I can record whatever I play, and then send it from the computer back through the MIDI interface back into the keyboard.
That's the key. You can record whatever you play, and it saves it on the computer.
Exactly.
What software are you using on the computer to do that?
I'm using Logic Audio from eMagic.
Okay.
And it's a combination MIDI sequencer that is I can store MIDI information from what I play, as well as an audio recorder. So I can have audio from anything that you can put a mic in front of and record.
So it's going to record the music out of this, but it's also going to sequence it. What does that mean, MIDI sequence it?
Okay. Basically, when I play a note on the keyboard, I issue a command that says, turn that note on. And when I take my finger off, it says, turn that note off.
Yep.
So for each note that I play, I issue a series of commands.
Right.
And those commands are stored in the sequence in which they were played in the computer, and then they can be played back, or I can edit them, change them around, and play them back. But the word sequencer has to do with just storing the
sequence of notes.
Yeah.
And those of us who've played with MIDI files probably get that, because the MIDI file is just the instructions of how to play some music.
Right, and you have to have something actually
playing
the sound.
it, a synthesizer that actually plays it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, and then these two boxes here, these are for the guitar?
Okay, so I have my guitar here.
A guitar could be a MIDI device as well.
It can be, but I'm going to just use the audio. So I have the standard audio cable coming out of the guitar.
Okay, that's a pickup there that goes to this.
This is a little effects box. It's a ToneWorks by Korg.
Okay.
And that just lets me put some reverb and chorus and effects on it.
Okay.
Then from here, it goes into this box, which is a USB audio interface. So this allows me to record 2 channels in at once and play up to 6 channels out. And that goes also into the computer and then plays back through here.
And then this mixer is so that you can mix the instruments and computers together.
So I have 2 channels here for the MIDI instruments. Here's my guitar sound. Here's the Mac. So I can just mix the volume levels, and then we can hear all of them together.
Can you show us how, if you were going to write a song, or maybe you got a commission that you need to write the new Screensavers theme or something like that, how would you go about? What would you do? How would you compose with this?
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the inspiration. And then I'm going
pause.
And then I'm going to come over to the computer. And basically, the computer has a number of tracks, and I can have each track be a different instrumental part with its own instrumental sound. So I'm going to start with a kind of harp sound.
All right.
And all I have to do is to press the record button, and then I'm going to get a click track, like a metronome sound, so that I can play in sync with each part.
Right.
I'll click on the record button, and then it'll give me 4 beats.
Count off.
Off, and I'll start playing. And as soon as I finish the 4 bars, I'm going to record a 4-bar section. It'll begin repeating it.
Got it.
What I'm going to do is called cycle recording or loop recording.
Okay.
So that I can play one part, it'll play it back, and I can add more parts on top.
So you're going to make a loop first with harp.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm just going to click on the button instead of talking. We hear that. Even with mistakes.
It records those too. You know, it's doing something neat though. It's writing the notes down.
Yep, so it's actually writing the notes down.
That's musical notation.
Yep. If I open this window up, you can get a better
Is it pretty accurate? Is it?
It's quite accurate.
You know, the early days of these sequencer programs, you'd play a whole note. It would give you 30-second notes.
Yeah.
So he's doing a pretty good job.
And here's this bad note I played. I'm just.
Can you edit that out?
Yeah.
Oh, he deleted it. I love that.
So a great thing is that you hear the mistake right away.
Right.
You can go find it and fix it.
That's because it's a music mixer, music recorder, as well as a MIDI sequencer. That's kind of a nice combination.
Okay, so now I'm going to add a bass part to it.
Now, we should point out that you're not a keyboard. Your instrument is guitar.
And you notice my great one-finger technique.
But you're still, it's good enough to do, it seems to me that every kid should learn keyboards these days. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Because this is such a powerful tool.
Just like, you know, when I was a student in grade school, we didn't learn how to type.
Right.
But now I think
you gotta learn to type.
computers, you really need to know
That's
keyboard.
absolutely true, yeah.
So I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to add some drum sounds. Like some hi-hats.
And this is all done through the synthesizer, because you can do any instrument. Love this.
Staying with my two fingers here.
But by layering it like this, you can really create quite a complex piece of music.
Much more complex than one person could play.
Absolutely. It's a little recording studio in the computer.
That's some percussion.
I like that.
Okay, so I'm going to add some electric piano sound.
I'm loving this. This is great. This is actually how musicians and composers work now.
Absolutely. I mean, half the music that you hear on the television or in movies
like this.
is done exactly this way.
All right.
I mean, it sounds like musicians playing.
This sounds like a music. I mean,
now,
we got a whole band in here.
Of course, in my mind, I know what music to play, so I've been trained as a musician.
Right.
So it's not making the music for me.
Very important.
It's just a tool for me to express myself.
It's just like you're not going to be able to paint by picking up a paintbrush. You have to be able to have the technique and the knowledge and the music.
Exactly. So I'm going to stop it from playing now, and what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to select these, and using the option drag technique, I'm just going to drag.
You've doubled it over.
Yes, I'm going to make a few more copies of it.
So now we have a 12-bar composition.
Yep. There we go. Right. So, and instead of looping this time, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my guitar.
All right.
And this could be any acoustic instrument, because really all I'm taking is the acoustic sound from the pickup here. But if I play,
so you're not going to sequence the guitar. You're just going to.
I'm going to record it.
Okay.
So.
Can you hear that well
I
enough?
can hear it. Yeah.
All
right. So basically, again, what's happening here is the guitar. I'm having the sound from the guitar coming through this little box here, which adds a little reverb and delay. Through the audio interface, this EMI 2.6, also from eMagic, into the computer.
Okay.
And basically what I'm going to do next is just click on my an audio track here.
Well, one of the neat things is you've already not only composed this, but it's all written down. It's been notated.
It's notated, so if I want to print the parts out for real musicians to play, quote unquote, I can do that as well.
I don't think we need real musicians. This sounds great. Sorry, guys.
I'm a real musician.
We have one. We have one. That's good enough.
So if you notice on the screen, now unlike before where it put the music notation, right now you see a kind of a view meter, like it were a tape recorder.
Yep.
And so this is my audio signal that's coming into the computer. And so I'm just
going to... You could notate what you're playing through the guitar, right?
Afterwards, it can notate.
Okay.
It can take audio information as long as it's monophonic, like the guitar line.
Right.
And actually convert it into information,
That's pretty
MIDI
smart.
information, and then display it as notation.
That's pretty smart.
So I'm going to, once again, just click on the record button. It's going to give me a 4-beat count-off, and I'm just going to start playing.
Jamming. Wow, that was great. Unbelievable. You, in just 5 minutes, created a whole band, a whole piece.
Yeah, and actually...
And I loved it, by the way. It's great.
Thank you. And then also, once I have it in there, I can keep editing it. I can change instruments. Right. But also...
Yeah, those don't have to be... This didn't have to be a harp. Doesn't have to be drums. You could even change that.
In fact, even after the fact, I can make the harp part into a tuba part if I want.
Which that's not.
But we'll not do that.
Yes.
The other thing is that inside the software, I also have a mixer that's kind of like this one. In fact, you saw this mixer.
Right.
But on this screen, I have a software mixer, and so I can, as I play it back, I can control the volume.
Mix a little bit.
Yeah. I can If I have stereo, I can pan the instruments left and right.
You could add effects too,
Add
reverb.
effects, reverb, chorus, flange, all those kinds of things.
This is remarkable. 26 years you've been at Berkeley.
Yep.
This must have changed everything.
It's changed the whole way that people think about making music, and also how we think about teaching and learning music, which is a very important addition to our arsenal of tools.
We haven't even touched on that, but you've got the book for it, and I encourage people to get the book. It's got everything you need to know in here about learning with music, about doing it, and even making your own CDs. It's all in here, which I think is it's kind of everything you ever want in there.
Thank you very much.
And to find out more about what David's up to, go to his website, which is, I like the name, mashine.com, MASHINE.com.